Today is Friday, and like every Friday in 2022, no one at Bolt will be working. Hi, my name is Naman, and I'm a software engineer at Bolt. I joined in June of 2020, right after I graduated from Rice University. It was the pandemic, so I moved back home with my parents and started working remotely. I've been there ever since, and the rest is history. Recently, we made a splash on social media and the news after our CEO Ryan Breslow's tweet announcing the permanent 4-day workweek at Bolt went viral. A bunch of news agencies picked up the story, and I saw lots of engagement on Twitter and even Reddit. It's an exciting time to be at Bolt, but I'm even more excited for the general 4-day workweek phenomenon and how it's going to change the industry. And that brings us to the 4-day workweek permanently. But Bolt wasn't always like this, at least not when I joined. In June of 2020, Bolt was like the average company. We worked 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Like many other startups, there were definitely days I worked late, and I worked hard, and I worked long hours. But the thing most people don't tell you is that there were also days I didn't work at all. And that might be surprising. I'd wake up on a Wednesday and I tried to get some work done and just wouldn't feel productive, or I'd be looking at the computer screen for hours not making much progress. Instead of just sitting there mindlessly, I just took the day off. Played some video games, went to the gym, took a walk, read a book. I realized that I wanted to really recharge, so when I woke up on Thursday, I was kind of out of that rut and I could really focus. And I would. I'd work 10, 12 hours, more than make up for the time lost on Wednesday. Most importantly, I'd get my work done. And the awesome thing is I'd be able to hit flow. And flow is that state that every software engineer dreams about. It's when you're hands down coding, headphones in, and the hours are just flying by. And that feeling is awesome. All this is to say that even before we formalized the concept of a 4-day work week, it was already ingrained in our culture. This brings us to the 4-day work week trial. So in early August, we were at the tail end of a phenomenal year. We had grown our business multiple fold, we had grown our team, and the executive team wanted to celebrate that and give us a chance to catch our breath. And so they instituted wellness days, which was basically every Monday in August we got off. But lucky for us, at the end of August, which apparently some employees also predicted, we actually got to try formally a 4-day work week. And that meant for 4 months, from September till December of 2021, we would get Fridays off. We would work 4 days a week. And a couple things to note, this was an experiment and by no means permanent, just a trial. And secondly was that we would only get that Friday off if there was already no holiday that week. So for example, if there was Veterans Day, which fell on a Thursday, you would then work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Veterans Day would kind of be your day off for that week already. So in mid-December, the company surveyed both individual contributors and managers alike, and the results of the experiment were actually overwhelmingly positive. 94% of employees said they wanted the program to continue, and 86% said that they felt more efficient with their time. Now, this is of course a little bit biased. If you ask the people who are benefiting from something if they want that thing to continue, they're of course going to say yes. But I truly believe, even if you account for bias, the results are still positive. I guess this goes to show well-rested, happier employees tend to perform better, but I'm not the first person who said that. I follow Dan Price on Twitter, and he's actually vocal about a lot of these things, and so I highly recommend you go check out some of his tweets and some of these experiments that he's run at his own company. And then this leads us to the permanent 4-day work week. In late December, due to the overwhelming support for the experiment and the positive results, our CEO and executive team decided to make the schedule permanent. And that means that every Friday in 2022 is off, and no Bolt employee will be working. To add to that as a cherry on top, every Friday is going to be off no matter what. So even if there's a holiday in the week, you will still get that Friday off. Now I want to touch upon my experience as a software engineer and this 4-day workweek policy at Bolt. Let's talk about work first. It's hard to actually get time to do what it is you're paid to do. And for me, that's coding. And that's what I love to do, that flow state, hands down writing code. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of stuff that gets in the way. Bolt basically said, nuke your calendars and start from scratch. We're getting that Friday off, which means there is one less day to get stuff done. So that means we want to be really cognizant about all the time that we have remaining. And so what I did was I canceled all my meetings. And I noticed that even though we have no meeting Mondays, I had a lot of casual one-on-ones, and to me they didn't feel like work, but when I looked on the calendar, they were actually taking a lot of time. So I changed those to be on a bi-weekly or even monthly cadence rather than weekly, and sometimes I shortened them from 30 minutes to 15 minutes, and I really thought about who was I already talking to and didn't really need a formal time on the calendar. And the other big one was when people would message me, I'd always say, oh, let's just hop on a call. Hey, do you want to pair really quickly? And I realized that that wasn't sustainable. So instead I would say, hey, actually, instead of pairing, let me answer your question by writing an answer asynchronously, and even better, documenting it somewhere. So if anybody asks me again, I can just send them a link. And I realized by doing things asynchronously, I was actually getting more work done. And Cal Newport talks about this again. If you have 4 hours of focus time, anything in the middle that distracts you really takes away from that focus time. And so the rest of the 2 hours or 3 hours you might be getting are not as good as if you had just had those 4 hours to yourself. And I realized that after nuking my calendar, I had so much more time to just heads down code. And for that, I was so grateful. So even though we got rid of an entire day, the amount of time I was getting back in the other 4 days more than made up for that lost time. And just to be explicit, I'm still getting paid my regular salary as if it was 40 hours a week, so by no means am I working 10 hours a day to kind of make up that 40. And I'd say on average, I'm still hitting about 8 hours a day for the rest of the 4 days, and so that would come out to, let's say, a 32-hour work week. On the personal front, I get a 3-day weekend, and I can't overstate how awesome that is. With a 3-day weekend, I can treat 1 day purely for errands, 1 day for relaxing, and 1 day for getting ready for the next week. And that's awesome, because I get to use my Fridays for whatever I want. And personally, that's for this YouTube channel and some other creative pursuits. And so it's really cool to really get that time to focus on things that are important to me. And it's easy to say, oh, you could, work an extra couple hours on the weekdays after work and get stuff done, but you all probably empathize. It's hard. After you've worked an entire day, you just kind of want to eat some food, lie back, watch some TV, and not really give your hobby or whatever else you want to do your full attention. But waking up bright and early on a Friday morning and treating it like a work day, but for something else, in this case my YouTube channel, is really powerful. I truly think 3 days is perfect. I love what I do. I love coding. I want to go to work. And 4 days of work just seems like a good amount of time. Like I feel like Thursday rolls around and I'm like, cool, I got enough done this week. Kind of ready to just chill for a bit. If Bolt decided to give me a 4-day weekend, maybe I'd be happy for a couple weeks, but then I'd just be coding on my own time on Thursday because I'd be bored. I'm not retired yet. I don't need that much time for my hobbies. So yeah. Hopefully this gave you a glimpse into the 4-day work week that has now become permanent at Bolt, and I'm sure will be adopted by so many companies to come. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments, or if there's anything else you're curious about. And just in general, if there are any videos you'd like to see, I'm happy to make them. This channel is a greenfield, and I kind of want to make whatever content is most valuable to you. Till the next one, cheers.